Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. So today we would be talking about the 65th verse, and which is a very famous verse. So before we deep down into this verse, just a quick question to everyone. Okay, let's start the session with a quick question. That I think we are 11 of us here in this session. Okay, and every one of us, I'm 100% sure that every one of us have gone through all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, right? Yes, no, any maybe?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
In level
So,
1.
okay. So the question is, out of all the 700 verses, did we find any verse where Krishna tells that you have to read Bhagavad Gita? Has this been mentioned by Krishna anywhere that we have to read Bhagavad Gita?
No, Prabhuji.
Then why are we reading Bhagavad Gita?
Prabhuji, in chapter 15.20, he says, no, this is the Shastra. You have to read it and understand me.
Yeah, yeah,
15.20.
but he doesn't say to that we have to read Bhagavad Gita, right?
No, he has given it orally. That is what.
Yes, Mataji. So the answer is, and that's the crux of the entire Bhagavad Gita, that the answer is this shloka, that this verse that we are seeing, that man mana bhav mat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam ev ishyashi satyam te pratijane priyo asi mein. We have to read Bhagavad Gita to know the crux of Bhagavad Gita, and the crux is this shloka. And if you are aware, if not, then also good, that this verse has been mentioned twice by Krishna in this entire 700 shlokas. This same shloka has come twice. The other time it has come in ninth chapter, if I am not wrong, 34th or 36th verse. Okay. So if we take the meanings of the verse, here Krishna tells, Manmana bhav mad bhakto. Manmana means mind. Bhav mad bhakto means become my devotee. Devotee. Okay. Madhyaji mam namaskuru means offer obeisances to me. So just quickly, if we go through the translation, it says, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. Okay, so let's go back to the verse. So when Krishna tells, what Krishna is telling, Manmana bhav mad bhakto, become my devotee. Put your 100% my devotion unto me. Krishna is not telling that become a devotee, right? Krishna is telling become my devotee. So here is the tweak, that in this world, everyone is a devotee for to someone or the other. Maybe some nowadays in this Kali Yuga, in this modern world, so-called modern world, you will see hundreds of people are devotee of dogs because they are not getting anything else. So they give their 100% time, whether they eat, whether they sleep, whether they do a morning walk, whether they do an evening walk, they do it with a dog. And they don't call it as dog. They call with some erotic name, but because they are dog devotees. But here, Krishna is telling Manmana Bhav Madhbhakto. So now you will see in our society there are many people who are very good devotees of very many demigods or goddesses. Okay, so here only the one point that we have to keep in mind is that when we see people in the society, they are devotees of goddesses or other demigods, or Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, or whatever it is. First thing is, we should never be jealous of any demigods, or any, we should be, not paying respect to any demigods, or we should not feel inferiority towards any person or any devotee of any demigod. See, it's very clear. Being a devotee, we have to be very practical and very patience. We should have patience, because if we have read Bhagavad Gita properly, even Krishna tells that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Prapaddate. That after many lives, he doesn't say one or two, he said Bahunam, n number of lives, you come to that conclusion point where you get to know that Vasudevam Sarvam Iti. So when you see people in and around the society, that okay, people are worshipping this demigod, people are worshipping this demigod, so we should not be worried about, because we know the fact that it's very difficult becoming Krishna's devotee, and Krishna itself is saying, right? So there's nothing to be astonished, or there's nothing to be flabbergasted. That is what is expected. That's the actual result. That's the expected result as well, right? So that's why we should never have infinity complexion towards demigod, or towards the people who are devoted to demigods. I know, just off the track, just to mention a quick point, I know a person whose parents were devotees of Lord Shiva. So what? Lord Shiva is also one of the foremost Vaishnava, right? So even if you read Ramayana, it is mentioned that by worshipping Lord Shiva, the fruit that you will get is Krishna Bhakti. So his father will also get Krishna Bhakti, if not in this life, the next. But that boy was so much aggressive. See, this is what happens when knowledge comes without maturity, without experience. That you think that whatever I know, that is the best. And even when you have not seen the world, we have just seen 1% or 0.1% of the world, and we start thinking that we know everything. And we start pointing out fingers, oh, this is not happening, that is not happening. So we should not do like that, because that's why we say things comes with experience. If you start by, okay, you have learned one shloka or 10 shlokas and you think that I have done awesome, that's not the point. So we have to be very patient, and we have to be practical enough to understand and to give the person a Krishna prem, Krishna bhakti. We should have patience in our lives. That's why what we are doing, when we know that what we are doing is the most concrete, then we should not get slipped by seeing anything or anyone, whatever they are doing. So that's why Krishna is telling, Manmana bhav mad bhakto, become my devotee. Then Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Offer my obeisances to me. Pay your homage to me. Why Krishna is telling this? Because first of all, whenever we bow down in front of anybody, that means we respect that person. That's why we are bowing down. Otherwise, we never bow down. That's why Krishna tells, you have to bow down in front of me every now and then. And then he says, Mam ev ishyasi. He says, if you do this, see this word which is there, Mam ev ishyasi, this is a conclusion word, right? If by reading the first part of the verse, that Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru, anyone might ask that, okay, I would do like this, but what's the result of this? So mam ev ishyasi is the result of following the implementation of the first part. If you implement the first part, this is what you get. What you get? Mam ev ishyasi, that you will come down to me. Satyam te pratijane. It's absolutely truth. That pratijane means I promise you, priyo asi me. Priyo asi me means because you are my dear friend, and that is why I am telling you that do this, because if you do this, then you will get to me without fail, and this is my promise. And if we see the previous shlok, that Krishna is telling this, and this is one of the confidential shlokas, that Krishna is telling to do this because Krishna is saying Vakshyami te hitam. Because of our benefit, Krishna is telling to do this, not because of Krishna's benefit. This shloka is very much, to some extent, it's very controversial, that where Krishna is telling that few so-called knowledgeable person on TVs or on YouTubes, if you see, they would say, why is the God himself telling to, to bow down in front of himself? Because if he is God, he doesn't want anyone to be bowed down, right? He is the supreme. Then why Krishna is telling like this? The answer is because of our benefit, not because of Krishna's benefit. That's what Krishna tells previously. Vakshyami te hitam. If you see the 64th verse. Because if we don't do this, then mam e vishyasi will never happen. See, Krishna can do this even forcefully. But if Krishna does this forcefully, the point that the soul has some part of freedom in itself, that freedom would go away. So that's why Krishna has given us that freedom with this knowledge, that take this knowledge and implement, and with your freedom, with your free will, you can come down to me. And this is a promise. Krishna has made himself as a promise, and Krishna has made Arjun also tell that, declare among everyone that devotees of Krishna never fall. We might see here and there a lot of things happening, but we, at the end of the day, we should never think that we devotees will fall enough. If you example of Jad Bharata, he from one life to second life, from a saint life to again a dear life to again a Brahmana life, but he never fell down. Only that lives changed. But even in all these lives, he remembered his past deeds. And from there, then in the next life, he picked it up. So in this way, if we devote our time, our life, 100%, see, we don't have to show off to people that, okay, we are doing this, we are doing this. Even without showing off, if we devote our heart to Krishna 100% without any alternatives, without thinking that, okay, today we have done, tomorrow we'll not do, yesterday we had done, okay, why and how that person is doing a lot of seva, I have been doing a lot of seva like this, why they are not doing. When we are out of all these, I would say, miseries in life, in the path, on the path of devotion, then manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru will happen automatically. We don't have to compare ourselves to anyone, because every soul is different, have their own karmas, have their own sukritis. So comparing oneself with others, that they are, I am doing, they are not doing, they are coming, they are, I am coming to the class, they are not coming. Who is coming, who is not coming? We are not the monitors of the entire society. So we don't have to monitor, we have to monitor ourselves. And that's why Krishna says, if we do this, then 100% at least we will go. First, let's make the path of for oneself very clear. And once it is clear, and once we are so much confident that, okay, it's done, then we can try thinking, you know, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the foremost upakar, the benefit that we can do to oneself is, first thing is that we have taken birth in this Bharat Bhumi, and once we have done, the knowledge that we can impart to the entire society, that's the foremost that we can give to any society. That's why first we have to concrete ourselves that, okay, we are doing this with full practical thinking, with full practical concept, that even if some news here and there comes, we never get deviated, because we have seen n number of people that we are very motivated, we are very energetic in doing things, in telling things, getting things done, but after a point of time we get dismantled. We see, okay, it's gone, it's not our cup of tea. So that's why we have to be very focused and practically, accepting the facts that what we are doing is absolutely on top. And if we know this, what we are doing, no wave can tumble this. That's why Krishna is making this very clear, that how we can go back to Krishna. And if we do this, our life is done. And if we don't do this, and we do all other things, then at the end, our life remains imperfect and incomplete. to complete which again we have to take another birth. That's why we always have to remember that this is what is the essence of life. And if we have got a human life, this is what we have to do apart from all other things. All other things, whether we do or not, doesn't matter. But this is the one thing that we have to do an entire life, even at the end moment of our life. If we can keep this with our life in our entire life, and at the end moment, at the end 1 second where we leave this world, where the soul departs, 1 second we keep this in our mind, and the game is done. So with this, that we have to do this, we are doing, no doubt, but we have to keep on doing. Let's promise ourselves that we will do and will not deviate from this path. And if we do this, our game is done. By knowing this and telling oneself, it's not a class that someone is listening or someone is telling. It's a class where every one of us are telling each other, or remembering these things, and telling oneself that what we have to do every morning. And that's how, with Srila Prabhupada's grace and Srila Anadi Prabhu's grace, we are remembering oneself that what we have to do in every day. With this, I conclude this session. If we have any questions, we can take quickly, else we can depart.